Hello YouTube, welcome to yet another new video. So as you all know, the long-awaited series Cars on the Road has now been released on Disney+. So today I'm here to provide my thoughts on it, and my overall review, and at the end I'll be ranking the episodes from best to worst. Then let's get right into it, and I'll share I won't break down each episode and give my thoughts on every little thing, but I will give my overall thoughts on parts I liked, parts I didn't like about each episode. So let's get right into it. So first we start with episode 1, Dino Park. So to be honest, I wasn't a fan of this episode. The scene at the start with the Radiator Springs town it felt extremely rushed, as if they were rushing to get into the road trip sequence, and it felt like they only did it out of obligation to have the Radiator Springs townies back. Because Sarge, Mac, Sheriff, and Lizzie didn't speak. Obviously, Lizzie is understandable because Catherine Hellman has passed away, but I don't understand why Sarge, Sheriff, or Mac didn't speak. Especially considering John Ratzenberger came back for Monsters at Work, I don't see why he couldn't have come back for Cars on the Road. Anyway, it was nice to see them back, but I feel like Radiator Springs should have received its own episode. If we move on to the Dino Park, I quite liked the dinosaurs that they showed off and showing off Lightning McQueen's knowledge of them. I thought was a cool little side to him. However, I wish we got to see more, because the dream sequence where Lightning and Mato were cavemen, that really, because that took up a good chunk of the episode as well, it made it feel like we barely spent any time at the actual Cretaceous Gardens. But I did enjoy seeing the little flashback scenes of the previous places I'd been to before. Dino Park, there was there was Carhenge, there was World's Largest Locknut, and World's Largest Tyre Maze. Overall, I give the episode a 3.5 out of 10. Next up, we have episode 2, which is Lights Out. And overall, I can't say I cared much for this episode either, really. It wasn't bad, but there was really nothing special about it. I didn't really care much for the scenes with the dancing with the ghosts, or just overall I'm not a fan of horror, so it didn't really appeal to me very much. The reference to The Shining with the two little twin cars was quite cool though, and I liked Randy, the receptionist, based off Steve Herschel, obviously. Aside from that, there's nothing else I really have to say on this episode. And I give it a 4 out of 10. Next up, we have episode 3, which is Salt Fever. And I absolutely love this episode, a massive improvement from the other two. So, I don't even know how to describe it. I just felt like it was a lot more enjoyable than the first 2 episodes, and it had some great characters as well. Like, there was the Speed Demon, there was Noriyuki, there was the Big Long Car. And no, I'm not biased to that just because it's Australian. I thought it was a really cool little addition, especially now they're releasing it as a diecast. It had some of the most fun scenes in the entire show, like showing off all different divisions of Salt Flats racers, Mater getting the rocket strapped to him, Mater meeting the Speed Demon, so on and so forth. And I give this episode a 9 out of 10. Now on to episode 4, which is The Legend, and I don't have much of a comment. I don't have many thoughts on this. I found it funny when Ivy had captured Lightning McQueen. She was doing a little dance around her shack, and what I thought was easily one of the best references in the entire franchise, if not the best, was this Bigfoot hunter's station wagon being named Griswold, which is a reference to National Lampoon's Vacation, because if you don't know, the Griswolds is the name of the family in National Lampoon's Vacation, and they were known for the station wagon they drove, so I thought that was quite a smart little reference. But overall, I rated a 7 out of 10. Next, we have episode 5, which is Showtime. And I don't have much to say on this. I felt like this was just reused models galore. Like, I know the whole series suffered from that problem, but Showtime just took it to a new extreme, I felt like. Overall, I really liked the montages of the circus cast doing all the tricks, and the music was quite good as well. So overall, I would rate it a 6.5 out of 10. Then we've got episode 6, which is Trucks. And I don't have much to comment on Trucks either, but I did quite enjoy the truck song, even if the actual video for it, I don't want to say music video, but I enjoyed the song, but the actual visuals for it were a bit not the most enjoyable, but the song itself was quite good. However, the scene during the song where Lightning McQueen's inside the shop looking at products, trying to decide what one to buy, it leaves so many questions, such as how do they get the products off the shelf? Like, how do they grab them? How do they use them? So on and so forth. But overall, I would rate Trucks a 6 out of 10. Then we're on to episode 7, which is Beanie Movie. This is really enjoyable, actually. I feel like this easily had the most story packed into it. Like, they made the best use of the limited screen time in this episode. But although the thing I don't like is Ivy's reappearance, because in Showtime, they made it as if the circus was a calling, like she belonged there. There was a destiny, and to see her turn up again, like, oh hey look, I got a job on this zombie movie. This doesn't make much sense. They should have, in my opinion, but if they still want to have Ivy in the movie scene, they should have had the legend, then B movie, then Showtime. There's really cool little references and cameos and stuff, like the spider car and the Mama UFO prop. No, it was quite a good allegory, I think that's how the word's pronounced, to people in real life, in movies in real life, getting hired based off how famous they are, not because they're good actors. It's quite a good reference to that, I thought, and overall, I really enjoyed this one. I rated a 7.5 out of 10. Then we got to episode 8, which is Road Rumblers, and as an Australian, I love that the episode was just a big Mad Max reference, really, and I thought it was quite smart to have the Road Rumblers fighting the electric cars again. It's a fun little reference to in society, I guess, the supporters of petrol cars versus the supporters of electric cars, and how they usually can't stand each other. And something that some of the characters I really liked as well, such as Cap and Longleggy, a bit of a weird name, but Chief Tess, I don't know how exactly to pronounce it, and Jeremy, which as a Top Gear fan, as a quite a big fan of Top Gear, it should be obvious why I enjoyed seeing a character with the name Jeremy. Now on to the last episode, episode 9, which is Getting Hitched. And the cameo of Cruz Ramirez in this episode, I do feel like it was she was much more bearable than she was in Cars 3. I found her to be quite obnoxious in Cars 3 personally. I did quite enjoy seeing her here, although at the same time I do feel that her appearance was shoehorned in without a doubt. It felt quite cheap having her be a jack of all trades per se, It felt so cheap having a quickly resolved Mato and Mater's rivalry, although I did quite enjoy the scenes between Mato and Mater. It's quite fun seeing them continuously try to compete against each other and be the best. And the post-credit scene with Mato and Matteo at the world's largest tire maze, I thought was a fun little callback. Even if it's something that only happened a few episodes ago. But so my overall ranking from worst to best is so from worst to best, my ranking is Dino Park, Lights Out, Trucks, Showtime, The Legend, Beanie Movie, Getting Hitched, Road Rumblers, and Salt Fever. I think I forgot to say, but my rating for Getting Hitched is 8 out of 10. Some overall thoughts on Cars on the Road are that, to be honest, I really hate there's so many reused models. It just makes it feel so. It just cheapens the feel again. However, I do understand to an extent because this would have been pretty obvious that this would have been produced on a far lesser budget than the movies. And even, I guess, such a cheap budget for voice acting. Besides, getting once in the movies back, Ivy and Mato's voice actresses are the only notable names that they got, really, and even then, neither of them are A-listers or B-listers or anything, really, as far as I'm aware. So, but all in all, I did enjoy Cars on the Road. For what it was, I really did enjoy it, and it was a great addition to the Cars universe. I really liked Mater and McQueen's chemistry and their banter almost here. Their friendship is easily the best it's been since Cars 1, if not the best it's ever been. I really enjoyed just seeing more of them and expanding upon their friendship. And like Cars 2, I think this did quite a good job of just expanding upon the world of Cars in general. However, with that being said, I feel like the series also had so much missed potential, and it has left me wanting so much more. Although at the end of the series, they did hint at a potential series 2, luckily, which is a good thing. I think they did quite a good job on the series considering the circumstances, because it was worked on during the pandemic, and it's been confirmed that all the lines were recorded over Zoom, which you wouldn't be able to tell at all. So once again, they did quite a good job with that, in my opinion. However, I do feel like Lightning McQueen's the whole lesson of the series was just rehashed from Cars 1, which is that it's not about where you're going, it's about the journey you take to get there. I didn't like that they just rehashed the moral from Cars 1. But anyway, that is it for the video, so let me know what you guys think of it, and you all know what to do. Please like, subscribe, comment, favourite, share, so on and so forth. Let me know in the comments what you think of Cars on the Road. Let's get a little discussion sparked up, and I'll see you all in the very next video.